Hi, Assalamualaikum, and have a very good day to those who watching my presentation video, especially to my supervisor, Dr. Siti Nurbaya Binti, to my panel, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Hariri bin Bakri. Before I go further into my explanation, let me introduce myself. I am Nurshahirah Binti Razak. I'm from 3BTMS with metric number B0619100113. My final year project entitled Impact of Movement Control Order MCO due to coronavirus disease COVID-19 on Malaysia food supply chain. Next, we move to introduction. The discovery of severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2, which later been called as COVID-19, attracted the global attention and was first reported in December 2019 in Hubei province, Wuhan, China. So from the first case of COVID-19 in Malaysia, which occurred on 25 January 2020, Minister of Health MOH Malaysia set up devised standard guidelines to manage further cases and standard of operation SOP to be followed by all citizens in Malaysia. In Malaysia, there are 5 types of restriction, which is MCO, Movement Control Order, CMCO, Conditional Movement Control Order, RMCO, Recovery Movement Control Order, EMCO, Enhanced Movement Control Order, and TEMCO, Targeted Enhanced Movement Control Order, in order to curb the spreading of virus. So this introduced unusual stresses on food supply chains with obstruction in many aspects such as farm labor, processing, freight and logistics also shift in demand. Next, we move to research questions. From this research, we will discover first one is what are the impacts of COVID-19 in Malaysia food supply chain. Number 2, what are the relationship between Movement Control Order MCO on Malaysia food supply chain. Number 3, what are the significant factors impact of Movement Control Order MCO due to coronavirus disease COVID-19 on Malaysia food supply chain. Moving on to the next point, which is objective. There are 3 objectives from this research, which is the first one is to identify the impact of COVID-19 in Malaysia food supply chain. Next, the second one is to analyze the relationship between the Movement Control Order MCO on Malaysia food supply chain. And the last one, to examine the most significant factors impact of MCO due to COVID-19 on Malaysia food supply chain. Next, point number 4 is hypothesis. There are 3 hypotheses, which is the first one is the significant relationship between consumer purchasing behavior and impact of MCO on Malaysia food supply chain. Second, there is significant relationship between economy and impact of MCO on Malaysia food supply chain. And lastly, there is significant relationship between technology and impact of MCO on Malaysia food supply chain. Moving on to the next point, which is conceptual framework. This is my proposed conceptual framework that consists 3 independent variables, which is the first one, consumer purchasing behavior, second, economy, and third, technology, which will give impact towards the dependent variable food supply chain in Malaysia. Next, moving on to the next point, which is research methodology. I will use quantitative method as research design, which is a collection of structured data that will be measured, analysis in represented numerical. This data collection is gathered from primary and secondary sources to explain my related topic. Other than that, I will be use questionnaire as research instrument, which is a collection data from chosen respondent, and he or she is a Malaysian citizen. This questionnaire will be distributed to persons who have purchasing power or already work. Next, questionnaire design. It consists of section A, which is respondent demographic, and section B, C, and D following with independent variable question. Section B is for consumer purchasing power, section C for economy aspect, and section D for technology aspect. Next, for sampling plan, sampling strategy is easy sampling that are selected in this research. So for the population, it is time tracking user. Population is adult and working person in Malaysia. Data sources, they are divided into two, which is primary data and secondary data. Primary data we get from questionnaire distribution. Secondary data we gather from journal, online article, online news, website, and books. This been stated in chapter 2 for explanation. For the last point, which is data analysis, which data that will I analysis data collection from primary sources, which is questionnaire. Data collection will be analyzed to investigate the study research hypothesis. So statistical package for social science, SPSS, will be used to do data analysis. Why I choose SPSS? Because it can totally utilize complicated information, operation, and examination in detail. Thank you for giving full attention. My explanation only until here. If there is any question related to my topic, feel free to ask me. Thank you.